Hello once again, another episode of Willow Talk. Great to have your company, Adam Peacock, alongside Brad Haddin and Alyssa Healy. And producer Joel is here for the moment, but he's just told us he has to duck away for 10 minutes. So anything you want to get off your chest that's going to get past the producer, guys?
What he did say is, Hads, can you look after this for 10 minutes? I'm gone. So this will be a really interesting pod. But getting to the cricket, that was an interesting last day. It looked from ball one that they're always going to win.
India, England we're talking about.
Yeah, I was like, geez, Hads, just get straight into it. Why don't we? Like,
But I watched it, most of it.
No, you didn't. You just said you were asleep.
Like, I came in and out of consciousness. And India, to me, I know we're going off the beaten track a little bit, but I've got to get off my chest. Mate, they didn't look like they knew how to win the game. They just let England bat and waited for them to win.
This is like a phone conversation with Hads.
Yeah.
You ring him up, and instead of the pleasant, oh, how you going? What are you up to? It's just, what about?
Yeah.
Bang, straight into it.
He did ask me a question earlier, didn't even wait for the answer, then followed it up with something else. So
Well, a lot on my mind. I'm 4 coffees in today.
Could have been 5 if I got you one, like you said on the group chat.
This morning, so I didn't. I've
He's
still got a
thrown.
lot of energy.
Hey, congratulations on your selection for the Australia A team.
thank you.
How come you're playing that?
Well, because I haven't played cricket since January.
Fair enough.
So,
No 100, so you're
yeah,
going down
good
that path.
opportunity to play some cricket in some controlled circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to captain either. It's great. Thanks. Great work, T-Mac.
Keep
Yeah, well, that's the plan, to try and get back. We've obviously got ODI World Cup, and we got 3 ODIs against India leading into that. So that's, hopefully, if we make the final, that's about 12 games of cricket, ODI cricket. So I need to kind of test out the old knee and the foot before then.
And you were mentioning just before we started recording today, where are you going right after this?
Train.
Running session.
Yeah, I have a disgusting running session, so I'll feed that back on Monday about how much vomit.
what's that look like now? Hills, stairs.
Fartlek?
Like, yeah, we do a lot of, well, I tend to do a lot of fartlek stuff, so you don't actually stop running, but you match your intensity, so you sprint, jog. It's really what I do in the game.
Yeah.
I stand around doing nothing. So.
The only fartleks I do is the evacuation of rooms required after it. So there you go.
Wow.
Went there. No, fartlek is 20 seconds off, on 40
No, it
seconds
varies.
off, things like that.
Yeah.
It varies. Yeah, it's not good. Anyway,
Into the wind as well.
yeah,
I
it's
used to
very
do
windy out
those
there today.
with my under 11 rugby league team,
Yeah.
and I made 3
You did
kids.
fartleks with
I made them
10-year-olds.
Yeah,
Well, it is quite relevant to the rugby league. You never
Not
really
for
stop
under
moving.
11s.
Drill sergeant.
Yeah,
They're kids.
I got them there and in the sandpit. I've got
Oh,
3
God.
kids to vomit.
What, wrestling session?
No, mate, you try getting up and down in a sandpit.
Yeah, no.
It's the best punishment. They're not listening.
So today, geez, this went off in tangents, didn't it? We
Joel, when are you
It's
leaving?
hump day.
Today, England, India decided on the 5th day, and it was a great win for England. And India have a few conundrums now about what to do with Bumrah and how to get back in the series. But it was very watchable cricket. We're hoping for watchable cricket as we listen to this, as you listen to this. Day 1 is done in Barbados, but Australia, Windies will have a wider look at the series. And also, I'm going to name my favourite ever Windies 11, and you can debate it and shoot it down from the sky or agree.
Can't
if
wait
you
to
want.
completely disagree.
It's who you've seen play, though, isn't it?
Exactly. So Garfield Sobers is not in it because I'm not that old, verging
Oh,
on.
It'd be interesting
Well,
to
that
see how
shut
much
down
women's
one
cricket
rumour.
you've watched then too.
No. It was a staple diet of 80s and 90s Windies cricket. That's what I was brought up on, Eels. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Here we go.
I couldn't help
World
it.
Series in the pink.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen one of the worst failed run-outs of all time. It was a complete catastrophe from everyone on the field in this. So we'll get you to rate that. And we've got our best Test cricket facts that you've sent in via the Secret Cricket Club as well. Thank you everyone who has entered that into the running to win the Test, the History of Test Cricket book from Tim Wigmore. So we've got that, and we've got a couple to read out a bit later on. Please make sure you follow us on social media. Just search Willow Talk Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, plus head to Listener Sport on YouTube. The old Northampton's under 15s got in contact and asked us for a shout out to their overseas pro called Joseph Faulkner.
That's a wild sentence to read, because why do the under 15s have an overseas pro?
And it's the old Northamptons as well. It's a very young team for an old boys team.
Shout out to that group of people because I'm confused and maybe they can provide some more info.
Exactly. Now head to Apple Podcasts on Spotify or Spotify to leave us a review. We want to get to 300 reviews before the Ashes. Is it too much to ask for? We're on 264. Just review us. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think if you see our videos of Hads's tranche of Reshes hats that he's now wearing.
Yellow's a bold choice.
Yeah, it's a yellow Reshes hat that you're wearing today.
Yeah, I saw that one the other day, but yellow's bold.
So Hugh96 says, lads, terrific pod again. Heels biting a tongue.
Lads is short for ladies, right?
Lads, terrific pod again, but more than a little disappointed in the quasi-disparaging comment about Reshes.
That was from you.
It didn't come from you, it came from me, didn't it? Because I said...
Do they still exist?
Yeah, silver bullet.
Silver bullets.
I don't know if I've ever had one, and I'm a beer aficionado.
There's a reason.
Have one tonight.
Yeah.
I might need
Not
one.
sure you'll be up for. Not sure that running session will go well tomorrow if you're on the quick backup.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had one.
I'll bring one in for you.
Okay.
Ooh, it's the tap that's generally towards the end of the bar, and it's maybe got a cobweb on it or something like that.
Next to Tooheys Old. Yeah.
all the old blokes here.
Right.
Hads loves his Reshes. You still drink it, don't you? Mm. Yeah. Fantastic. India, England. Well, England, I did read that Ben Stokes is off the PI55 and he's having a non-alcoholic beer to celebrate England's first test win over India. It was, even though it was a magnificent run chase, and thankfully, the 2019 highest ever run chase at Headingley has been knocked off.
They replayed some of that in the lunch break too. I had to relive it.
So for the rest of time, it's India who've failed to defend the highest ever total in a fourth innings at Headingley.
At least the chase was 5 down. Not against us. It was 9 down. So
yeah, 9.5 down.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not go back. It's in the past. It's in the past. What'd you make of it?
Twitching.
You're twitching because you were sitting in that dressing room that day. What was it like? How did you evaluate England's win there?
Well, extraordinary win, first and foremost. Everyone thought at the start of the test match, we thought Ben Stokes would have batted first. Everything pointed towards that, but he knew better. The wicket got better as the game went on. Jadeja didn't play as big a role as we thought he would. But India, to me, just looked too much the same with their bowling attack. You've obviously got Bumrah, who didn't get a wicket in the second innings, and that shows to me they need something different. I think it's going to be interesting in their selection meeting in the lead up to the second test. Do you play an Arshdeep Singh? He can swing the ball.
Well, you called for him before the first test, and you know him from Punjab.
Yeah, I think he does. And the other one I reckon's an interesting one. Are we seeing the decline of Jadeja? Like, yes, he's effective in Indian conditions. And we know how hard it is to play left arm spin in India, but I don't think he's the best option to have in the team spin wise in the UK. I'd look at Kuldeep, someone like that who's an attacking spinner who can get wickets. You got a couple of holding bowlers there. Siraj can play that role, but I think they need to be a bit more bold in their selection of their fast bowlers.
Yeah, I think they've got to mix it up completely. I think Arshdeep's got to play. They've got to have a point of difference. I think the three of them, whilst providing slight differences, they all kind of did a similar job at the end of the day. When the ball wasn't and the wicket wasn't offering a lot for them, they couldn't really find a way to break through. So the left armour naturally should look to come in. Shardul Thakur as well was a really interesting one for me, that selection, because I feel like they played him instead of Nitish Reddy to be more of a bowler, and then he hardly bowled.
Yep.
So do you look at that choice and go, okay, well, we'd rather play Reddy knowing that he's going to make us some runs and then can bowl some handy overs for us as well, because he didn't really have a whole heap of impact. So they've got a lot of questions. Obviously, their batting's looking really good, but they need some options with the ball.
Well, if Reddy plays also, then you don't have to play Jadeja, and you can play the attacking spin option. And I think that's one thing that they've got to look at, especially away from home. I don't think Jadeja is going to be as effective. Yes, he's a good all-rounder, and he could play as a second spinner, hold in if you attack at the other end. But I think they need to be more attacking, be willing to lose the test match with some inexperienced bowlers, but change their mindset of the way they go about it because Bumrah's the only option at the moment.
You got Washington Sundar there as well, and whilst off spin's probably not an ideal matchup to the England side, he's tall. He's got a point of difference. He's tall. He's got some bounce. So,
and if you get Arshdeep into the team, footmarks become an issue for the right-hander, correct?
Yeah, so you could kind of, like Had said, rethink the way that you're attacking England.
What about how England batted? It felt like, watching it for the uninitiated, that they just dialed it down a little and it was still very effective. Is that fair, or did you see something different?
Well, I don't think they dialed it down. They scored 370 in a day.
No, but the way that they, like, I wouldn't say reckless nature, but just playing ridiculous, even though Ben Stokes got out to a ridiculous shot in the second innings, but it wasn't as cavalier.
Yeah, what I thought they did really well was played what the situation in the game needed. Like at times they've put people out in the boundary and they've still gone hard where they didn't have to be. Now they played a lot smarter. When the field came in, they attacked when they had to. When they had deep point, deep square leg, they just played what was in front of them. And I think that's the one thing that we've been looking for in baseball, because we love the concept of the way they play and take the game on. It's understanding moments when to go really hard and when to control the tempo of the game. And that's the one thing they did really well with the bat, is control the tempo. I thought he was through the whole day. It actually looked like they were always going to get the runs.
Yeah, well, they hit bad balls. I reckon that's what they did really well. And how they did that was they made India bowl bad balls. They sat on Bumrah, didn't allow him to break into that second innings, and they cashed in on everybody else. And India weren't able to sustain pressure long enough, and it wasn't through reckless batting on England's behalf. It was just they were searching for wickets a little bit, quite defensive in their field settings, but was still searching for wickets, and England just punished it and able to grab momentum. And I feel like once England have got the momentum, it's hard to take it away from them when they play the way they do. So, yeah, it was somewhat mature performance from England, which is something we haven't really used. But it's interesting already hearing the language in this World Test Championship cycle. I mean, they went from not caring about the last one to wanting to win this one. So it's already a shift in mindset, which has probably made them knuckle down a little bit. Yes, play this attacking style of cricket, but how do we win games of cricket? So it's going to be a fascinating watch.
Harry Brook, by the way, I think we mentioned on Tuesday's episode, because he's been dropped 13 times out of 26 chances off legal deliveries in test matches in the last 12 months. We said, is there a luckier cricketer? And then he tickles one first ball down the side and gets out for a golden duck. And at that point, you thought, India maybe can twist it. But in the end, Jamie Smith comes in. So
they bat so deep.
Oh, yeah. But this guy, given his stature, given that Headingley, bit of bounce, I could only look forward to the Ashes and what kind of role this guy potentially can play for England. I mean, you guys can talk in depth about his keeping ability, but with the bat, it looked like they found one.
Well, they found one for some time. I thought his selection was a shock to many on the outside when he first got selected for England, because you had the guy, Folkes, from Surrey, who's done an amazing job, great gloves, but
he got left out for Bairstow in the Ashes, and that was a point of consternation for you yourself.
He's a proper cricketer. He can change the game with the bat. His gloves are getting better and better as the more he'll play in international cricket, but they've found a really good one there. And you need that, especially in big series like against India and the way the games pan out in an Ashes series. At number 7, you need someone that can change momentum, and he's definitely got that.
What about old mate up the top there, Duckett?
Oh, mate. I was like, which one?
Yeah, which one? Which one? So you were talking before about hitting bad balls, but he, it seemed as his innings, he was seeing it so well, as his innings developed, they were looking at ways to try and manufacture him playing a loose shot. So they started, like Jadeja started firing in his legs. He just switch hit
Yeah.
Like they left cover open, and he switch hits three times for a boundary, and it's like far out. What can you do against that?
Yeah, well, I think once he had his eye, and I think he got dropped on a 93. That could have also been a really interesting moment in the game. He went on to make
one of the 4 drop ones from Jaiswal during the Test match.
Poor fella.
That was a Test match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was
catch.
in the first, that and the first innings, they drop catches in that. But I thought Duckett's innings in the 4th innings was crucial, but also just shows the talent of the guy. I mean, to do David Warner-esque, to like transfer your white ball skills across to red ball and do it successfully, amazing. But I just think about how many, and they actually spoke about it on the coverage as well, how many balls he hits through the air through gully. And whether that's an opportunity or sort of like force slip towards gully, if that's an opportunity for the Indian side moving forward. But fair play, sir.
Fair play, sir. Catches win matches was
Yeah,
drummed into me as a kid. It's a cliche. It's a great cliche in cricket. Catches win matches, and it was certainly the case here. What other great cliches did you have drilled into you as young players coming up that your young coaches or
Watch the
parents?
ball.
Watch the ball. Keep the ball on the ground. You can't get caught. But
My dad still says that to me.
yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah?
yeah.
Do you listen?
No.
my
Listen, there's more space in the air, Dad. Leave me alone.
My youngest says that. Well, can't hit sixes from the ground, Dad.
Yeah.
But it's interesting with the catching because every great team, no matter what era you're playing, the one standout they've always had, they've been great fielding teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the one legacy Gill can start to leave now on this team. It needs an attitude adjustment. If you want to field well and compete the whole time, it's only attitude. You can do all your technical work off the field, and India have as many coaches as anyone. But
one per player on the boundary.
But it's also understanding the importance of it. In IPL this year, the catching was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we talk about talented bowlers, batsmen, but it was the catching that was a real problem. And that could be a byproduct of, mate, take the young kid from Rajasthan. He came in, everyone's talking about how well he batted, and it was unbelievable to watch. But if you want to be a great player, he's going to have to work on his fielding, his presence in the game there, because that's the most important part of it. And the one thing I'd say to India is find a way to be the best fielding team in the world because you've got the talent everywhere else.
Well, that's where Virat is such a big loss to that side. And it's an interesting discussion about Marnus as well that we had the other day of you take these guys out of the game that provide you with energy, provide you with enthusiasm and, you know, a will to really work hard on their skills all around the park, and you take them out of your side, then who's driving that?
Yeah.
And that's your point, is that Gill's job? Is that maybe a younger player? Is it Jaiswal's job to maybe try and drive that at training, to improve himself, but also to try and lift others? Jadeja's obviously a freak and one of the best fielders in the world. And he's fielding at deep point. Like, how do you get a guy like that in the game and not have to seemingly hide some other players, get them in some different positions and get your key fielders where you need them?
It's the case in other sports. Do you reckon it's along the lines with the younger players? Because everything's through, you know, social media, highlights. Like now, with other footy codes and other sports, people aren't watching the whole game. They're watching highlights. They're watching things that they see on Instagram. They're seeing these magnificent sixes hit. They're seeing some incredible bowling, like the best deliveries. They get replayed. Is it big on social media, or does it need to be, and something we could maybe start here at Willow Talk, to just highlight great fielding all the time? So that then kids coming through go, oh, yeah, that's rather important. I want to be like that, instead of just trying to hit into another postcode.
I think you highlight the other way and go bring in the error count, like at the rugby league used to do, right? And how many like completions, like your error count and stuff like that, which has been in the footy codes right throughout, and that's highlighted on the screen. So if you start highlighting that in the game of cricket and how important, how costly these chances are to each side, it might change the narrative.
So you're saying, like, next to I'd say on the scorecard has got like a skull with a cross on it, and that signifies a drop catch. So if one player has like 4 or 5 next to his name.
But like, look at Harry Brooks' first innings, right? So how many drop chances did he get? And then add up how many runs he made after that. So it's like, how costly are these errors? And it's not picking on someone. Like, you don't want Jaiswal's name to come up and say 4 drop catches. That's not what I'm getting at. But it's more just highlighting how crucial these opportunities are and can be in over the long run, especially in a test match.
I could go on for a bit with this.
Here's Had's the fielding coach.
Yeah.
Well,
Standard setter.
I just think this is a generational thing. Like you look at, young kids now.
A lot of time in a net.
A lot of time. But young kids from Monday to Friday will go, they might go for a hit with heels on Monday, you on Tuesday, me on Thursday, someone else on Friday. But it's all around individual, like all around, I've got to get better there, I've got to get runs here. No, you lost the game because you can't catch.
Yeah.
The one thing I've found in whether kids sport, and we see a lot of it now, even in state cricket. Curtis Patterson, for example, he's played some really good cricket over the last 12 months, but I haven't seen a change in his attitude to fielding. Like he's dropping a lot of catches. He doesn't look like athletically he's got any better since he's been out, and that can be the one point of difference to get you back into the Australian team. So I don't think coaches are talking about the importance, or 95% of the coaches aren't talking about the importance of that, because the fielding can reflect your whole attitude of your group. So I think it's actually a bigger issue, and it has been for some time.
I think at the Allen board, we're going way off track
Great.
here from an India-England thing, but you know how they had the Michael Bevan, Dean Jones, Andrew Simons in for the names? What about we give, at the Allen board, a medal, the best fielder in Australian cricket gets the Andrew Simons medal? Given that I watched him when there was bad fielding in a commentary box almost vomit when he saw people not having a go in the field and trying to it's just, I don't know, just trying to adjust what is acceptable.
We have gone off the beaten track with it, but the reason we have is because it's actually quite a big issue coming through in the cricket ranks now. We spend a lot of time, but not a lot of people understand the attitude you need and the commitment you need to make a difference, because if you're not doing all your work fielding-wise, you affect the fast bowlers. Like every Ashes series that's come out, most teams are sort of on par with batting and bowling. It's whether you can hold the catches.
Yeah.
And it's a huge thing in sport. That's a Marnus. We go back to Marnus.
Yeah.
No matter how much he was struggling, mate, his attitude out in that field was exactly the sort of guy you want to play against.
Well, that's the thing. You say, he's averaging 20-odd or whatever in the last couple of years. But is it actually 30-odd or nearly 40 because he's saving everything?
Yeah, he's making up runs in the field, 100%. And the less you have to hide players in international cricket, which you shouldn't be anyway. We shouldn't even be talking about hiding fielders and international cricket. But the less you have to hide girls and guys in your team, the better team you are.
Whole people
more versatile.
100%. But it also gets you picked in teams. Like these young batsmen coming through now, I'd be working on being the world's best slips catcher. Like there's going to be opportunity in that team, and you don't want to be passed by someone because you can't catch your attitude in the field's not right. But it's a bigger issue. You've started me off.
We have.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, exactly. There's Hads in pre-season driving past local cricket parks, a tear to his eye when he just sees a bunch of kids out there just diving around and trying to save us.
But it genuinely does
massive.
Reflect the coaching as well.
Yeah,
and you've got to have people interested in doing it and creating energy around it and showing its importance. And there's like a lack of that around our country and around the world at the moment. There's some really good ones and they're in really good high positions, but there's only so much they can do.
Just make it a competition. Every time you do a drill, just make it a competition because kids love competition.
No, but they don't like losing.
Yeah, too bad. That's life. Hey, just quickly about India losing. They're the first team to ever lose a test match after having 5 centuries across their 2 innings of batting. That's a random cricket fact. Well, they could win the book.
Well, I find that interesting. And then I'm like, do you reckon Rishabh Pant doing his cartwheel after, he regrets that now? Like,
well,
I bet you knuckle down and get 200.
It's been
or take a catch in the first innings.
It's been 60,000 matches and it hasn't happened.
60,000, has it?
Yeah, but the other
nerd.
No, mate, I've been all over. The other thing about that, there's 500s first time it's happened, but what hasn't been the first time it's happened was India's batting collapse. They lost 7 for 41 and 6 for 31.
Yeah. No tail.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on that top order. If
Who are doing well.
Yeah. If you get it right.
They'll run through them. Second test, July 2, it starts at Edgbaston. So those changes that you spoke about for India, possible, would that suit that particular ground?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it'll suit any ground. I think Arshdeep Singh will give him a point of difference with the new ball. The ball will swing. He goes both ways. And I think the attacking spinner is the best option to go.
Australia West Indies, the series preview, as you listen to this, or this podcast drops as day one is underway Thursday morning Australian time. So we can't see the future. We wish we could. A few other options available to us if we could see the future, especially at a racetrack near you. But on this one, so before Shamar Joseph came out and said, watch out, Sam Constas, in a nice way. It wasn't cutting or anything like that. Yeah. But grumpy Uncle Ian comes out on his radio show on SEN and champs him. He says, you haven't done anything since beating us last time. You're not Curtly Ambrose. Champ.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
when's the last time you champed someone?
Oh, yesterday.
As she walked in. G'day, champ.
Yeah. I said, nice hat, champ, when Hads walked in. Yeah. No, like, I like it. I mean, I don't think Shamar Joseph was just pointing out at Sam Constas. I think he was talking about the whole batting lineup to say, watch out, like, I'm coming, I'm full of confidence, whatever. Uncle Ian had his say. Great.
Great.
Media.
Full
How good.
stop.
We are all allowed our opinions.
Yep. The other thing, another way to look at that is we've seen these first few tests, there's been a reaction out of Sam when something's happened. And maybe this is a bit of a sign of maturity with Sam. He hasn't said anything. He's actually said all the right things leading into the game. That when I'm learning a lot about the craft, I've opened the batting, I'm spending time with senior players. I went away and worked on things mentally and technically. And it's good that he hasn't bitten. The senior players will do that for him. He's got 3 big nasty quicks that won't let that comment slide when they get a crack at Shamar Joseph with the ball. But I like that Sam hasn't reacted to that comment.
Unless something really weird has happened in the time that we record this and the time it drops and the team comes out, the 11 changes from what has been thought of as the 11 for this first test. No second spinner. Matt Kuhneman, there was a whisper around that he might get the gig and give one of the quicks a rest. Looks like they've gone against that. Fair?
Yep. Conditions suit.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good at making those decisions on the spot about what they do and don't need. So back the quicks in. Obviously, reverse swing could come into play if they're out there a little bit longer than they hope. But you got Bo Webster in there. Travis Head, who can bowl a little bit of spin for you as well if need be.
So, yeah, the first test, by the way, for the Windies 11, they're 1 in a row against Australia after that incredible game at the Gabba. Was it 18 months ago or something like that? Anyway, Shamar Joseph is one of the 4 survivors from that one for the Windies. So they've had a bit of a turnover as well of personnel.
It's funny, I look at it, and you might disagree, Hads, but I look at that side and actually think they're not that bad. Like, it's not a bad side in their home conditions. Obviously, we look strong and we should be going in as favourites, but I actually look at that side and go, actually going to be tough to beat if they play really well. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out, and they'll be pumped up to beat Australia and in home conditions. But decent looking side, especially their batting lineup. I think it'll if it matches up well against our 3 quicks and Nathan Lyon, it'll be interesting.
West Indies need to find a hero, don't they? Shamar Joseph was that last time. He took the game by the scruff of the neck in Brisbane, and he was world class on that day. We haven't seen it since. Elvari also, he can bowl with good pace and be intimidating. Hope he's got a great record in one-day cricket. Can he turn that over into tests? Braithwaite, he's got an appetite to bat long periods of time.
He holds it all together for them, doesn't he? And it's more so what's happening around him. Yeah. But they've got some explosive players in that middle order that will be a good test for our bowlers if, the ball's getting soft.
But it's their appetite to get through tough periods. If Australia get on a roll, West Indies just got to be, here we go again. And if that happens, these test matches could go 3 days, all of them.
Well, Hads, you're going for the third test, but there's still a little bit of a doubt whether it's definitely going to be a pink ball test. Duke's ball, pink ball conditions. I mean, I look at that and go, okay, well, what's more likely? If that is a pink ball test, what's more likely? Hads, you come out of retirement and declare your allegiance for New Zealand. Heels, you go on a golf trip with Harmanpreet Kaur, golf and wine, maybe. Or that test match goes longer than 2 days. What's the most likely out of those three?
What do you mean? Harman and I are friends.
Really?
I don't know. I don't know if we are or we aren't.
It's unlikely that test match goes longer than 2 days if it is a pink ball.
Well, I think
with
the issue is the lights at the moment in Jamaica. I don't know if the lights are up to scratch for a pink ball game. That's still being determined, which means if it does go ahead as a pink ball game, that a 2-day test is highly likely because the players won't be able to see the ball.
Goes back to one of the great stories I heard about lighting in sport. They did a lights test in New Zealand for a sporting event that was over there. They came back and they went, oh, the lights are fine. It's 6,000 lux. They went, 6,000 lux? What? That's like you'll see through yourself. That's like an X-ray. And they said, what time of the day did you do that test? And he said, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Shout out to our Kiwi friends.
Yay.
You're learning.
Okay, quick fire predictions for this series. What will the result of the series be?
3-0, not one test to go 5 days.
2-1 Australia.
Will Mitchell Starc play his 100th?
No.
Whoa. Yes.
Are you going, by the way, if he does?
Can you please not be the 100th person to try and rub it into me that they're already turning flights around for that region because of some bozo pressed the button?
No, it's the other way.
No. There's flights not coming in and out of around places around there. So I would love to be there, but I probably can't get there. But yes, I think he will.
Okay. How many runs will Sam Constas get for the series? Jeez.
I haven't thought about it, actually.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that.
Now you have to answer the question.
Know. That's really hard to predict.
No, it's not. Just pluck a number.
I was thinking 150, but that's not many for the series. So
no, that's 6
innings,
150.
I'm actually not worried about his runs.
Oh, really?
No.
What are you worried about?
He's an opening bat.
Worried about he hasn't found a shirt yet?
No.
I've heard they've been delivered. His mum shipped them over.
Excellent.
I'm not. He's our long-term opener. He's a young kid. He's learning. Let's just. You've got this senior batting group around there. I've got no pressure on Sam for a number. I just wanted to see where his game's at. There's been a lot of talk on his improvement over time, but he'll get a couple of hundred.
Excuse me, I would also like to go down that path, but Adam asked us to predict, so I just threw out a number willy-nilly.
That's a fence sit, but it's an intelligent fence sit.
No, it's an empathetic one, and I was like, I'm also quite like that, but I said 300. Go boy.
He had his first test 100.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
How many wickets will Shamar Joseph get?
6. That's not a lot, is it?
No, it's not. It's the Healy family's got something against this guy.
I can't count. 12.
12. 3 tests.
10.
10. Who will take the most wickets?
Line.
Stark.
He's missing a test.
Who will get the most runs? Most runs?
Travis Head.
Usman.
Which Windies player will make a name for himself?
Brandon King.
The captain. Chase.
How many times will strange smells waft over the field of play?
At Barbados, it's already happening, I reckon. At least, 6 hours of play a day, 4.5 hours of it.
That's and about 60 packets of Doritos will be eaten.
Is it a good place?
To be fair, I was walking around Regent's Park in London one day.
Same
I was
smell.
probably doing a running session, and you walk past there's a uni tucked in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was always parties on every night, but I was walking through in the morning, and I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on there? And then I didn't know what was in there. I thought it was the zoo, and I was like, all right, who is smoking that in the zoo? It was the uni campus, and so I walked past that every day.
I felt happy about life.
Oh, yeah, I was all of a sudden
West Coast
free
of America,
paying.
it's rife as well. Legalised it there. So anyway,
Oh.
is it a good place to unwind when you're not playing cricket over there? Is it as good as the reputation suggests? We've talked about, you have fun at the ground and everything, but to unwind as a player, is it one of the easier places to chill out between games?
You have both extremes. You have some parts of the West Indies, it's like the Maldives, you have a great time, you can relax away from the game. And there's other parts where, well, Jamaica, for example, that you're refined to your hotel room. So you can have the best and worst of both worlds.
Well, I think for yes and no. I think there's 3 decent golf courses in Barbados and 2 of them are being renovated, so they've just been limited to the one.
Unlucky guys.
So that changes things, but I agree with Hads. There's some places that are easier than others. It's the same as wherever you go in the world.
Will anything top the party that you guys had after the 2007 World Cup victory? Anywhere in the world?
I didn't win. West Indies can be a good place to party.
Yeah.
Dangerous because the rum punch.
The rum punch.
It gets you.
It can get you real quick.
Sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
It's so delicious. And
Yeah.
then once you step off the catamaran, when you've started drinking it, you haven't got your sea legs.
Sea legs and rum punch.
Our best party there wasn't even close.
Yeah?
No, it was the 2007 World Cup when we won.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's what he asked.
I thought you said
No, 2010.
2000
I didn't make it. I didn't even
yeah.
actually make it out to the after party in 2010. My mum did.
Yeah.
I didn't make it.
Oh,
Why? What happened? Rum punch.
Yeah.
we seen a
I think I got
different
Brad
side.
Haddin in the change room.
Oh,
but-
lightweight.
yeah.
We seen a
Got
different
poleaxed.
side of Huss in 2007
Yeah.
on Packer's boat
Yeah.
Oh. Maurice.
×3.
Wasn't that where we lost? We nearly lost a couple of Australian cricketing legends as well on a jet ski.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Was that
Hoggy-
that trip or was
yeah,
that
Hoggy and
2010?
Watto.
I'd heard about that. Yeah. That happened in 2010 as well
That
with
was
our
scary
team.
for 10
yeah.
seconds.
But then
when
the
they
hilar-
both came up, it was fine.
Right.
Well, what happened with your team in 2010?
Yeah, there was
Jet ski?
some rogue happenings
Yeah.
with jet skis. What is it with us and jet skis?
I
Well,
did the
when you
shoulder.
combine them with rum punch,
Yeah, I don't think ours was rum punch involved. It was just
negligence.
yeah.
I did my
Danger.
shoulder coming off it. The jet ski. Bad.
Lucky you don't have to throw, mate.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established it's a good place to celebrate if you have a good time.
And I put that injury down to overload throwing in that World Cup.
Oh, because you were never getting a run.
lot.
So, yeah.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Hey, before we go, I've got Windies. I'm going to throw up the greatest West Indies team that I've seen, best 11 players, and I've got a 12th man as well. You can shoot this down from the sky.
Wrong. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, go.
Greenwich and Haynes. Can't go past that opening partnership. Very, very difficult. I've got Richie Richardson at 3, not just for his hat.
Wait.
What?
Where's Chris Gale?
He's not there.
Okay, are we
Greenwich and
letting him
Haynes.
name his 11 before we absolutely tear it to shreds?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Gale is good.
100 test matches?
Yeah.
Are you old enough to have seen Greenwich and Haynes?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. I nearly got wiped out by a Gordon Greenwich sweep shot at the SCG that went approximately 6 metres above the ground on an even plane. He hit it that hard. I've never seen a cricket ball hit harder, ever. And it nearly broke the seat that was sitting in front of the Brawongle there.
On the hill.
Well, that was to the left. That was a party in itself.
Gabbers Hill.
Yeah, exactly. By about 5 o'clock, you were watching more. You were turning left, watching that more than you were watching the action. Richie Richardson at 3 because of the hat as well.
Fair.
Big floppy hat
Yeah.
that he came out with in the early 90s. Brian Lara, Viv, 4 and 5. Carl Hooper at 6. I went with Carl because over 100 test matches, like Chris Gale, 114 test wickets. Sneaky good. For a guy that was predominantly known as a bat.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dujon, everyone in the 80s, anyone who watched West Indies cricket in the 80s always used to
He's one of my
dive in the
favourite.
backyard and say, Jeffrey Dujon.
In the swimming pool.
And the bowlers, geez, it's hard to cut apart, but Malcolm Marshall, Michael Holding, Whispering Death. Has there been a greater nickname in the
No.
history of
No,
cricket?
that's pretty cool.
No.
Curtly Ambrose, Courtney Walsh. 12th man, geez, he'd be good with the vibes. And good in the field, Phil Simmons. What do you reckon? Who have I missed?
Gale.
Gale, okay.
I think we forget about Chris Gale a bit because his 2020 stuff.
Yeah.
But he also played 100 test matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair. But sorry, universal boss.
And you've picked someone on a West Indies tour to be 12th man because they're a good fielder. You'd be sacked from selection because their job is to make sure that the party and rum punches are ready. So you have to look at your 12th.
I reckon Phil Simmons would be across that as well. Just looking at his demeanour, I'm not sure.
Yep.
Even though he's now a coach and he's meant to be a sensible guy, but he looked like he really enjoyed his cricket.
Yeah, fair.
What? You got anything to add?
We'll let you have your day.
Are you going to shoot me down from the sky?
I'm going to do it behind your back.
because I can't do it because I didn't see a lot of those play. But the only
I'm feeling old now.
The only addition that I would make to that, only because I've single-handedly watched her carry a West Indian side for the last 5 years, is Hayley Matthews. And I'm going to get a whole heap of crap out there from everyone being like, she wouldn't make that team and play men's cricket. It's not what it's about. It's the greatest 11.
Yeah.
But she is playing men's cricket as well, isn't she?
She is playing men's cricket over there, but she has single-handedly carried that side. They literally win or lose whether or not she's performing or not. So I would throw her into the greatest West Indies 11 that's ever played the game at some point. And she's not done yet. Got a long way to go.
Agree or disagree, let us know. Who have I missed out? Again, it's the cricketers that I've seen is very heavily biased towards my childhood, watching 80s and 90s.
Wasn't even thought of
World
them.
Series cricket, the best of times, watching World Series cricket on a summer afternoon. Anyway, let us know what you think of that 11 plus 1. We're off to a quick drinks break. Back in a sec with Sundries and our random facts. I've got some beauties to read out as well in relation to our giveaway. We're back with Sundries. Just before, Heels got a shout out.
Well, I got a shout out to a mate of mine he's an English Aussie. He married an Aussie, but he's through and through Manchester. Came out here, chose his sporting teams. He's chosen Essendon and the West Tigers, and so he's not had a great run of it, but he is the happiest man on the planet with England winning last night and is already chirping for the Ashes. So I got to give him a shout out because I rubbished England leading into the series. So I said I'd apologise, but at the same time, long way to go, champ.
Sticking to type. Healy, like Healy. Hey, Sundries. So one of the worst run-outs, we'll put this on the group chat, one of the worst run-outs you could ever imagine. It was in I think it was the Mumbai T20 that they're playing right now.
I thought you were going to go
Mumbai
Eddie
Premier
Coward
League.
in a tour game.
No, but this one where there was a mix-up, there was a massive collision, head-on collision. I swear one of those batters was down on the deck. He was gone, and then he came to, and all of a sudden they stuffed it up at one end, and then they have a go at the other end and miss everything totally. Have you seen anything quite as catastrophic as that?
I just think cricket does itself no favours to the whole match fixing conversation, because when I watch that, all I think about is what the hell, guys, and were you really trying to run that person out? I mean, I think there may have been an element at some point, like a very minuscule moment where they thought, should we run these guys out because they're both dead on the ground? But then they proceeded to try and run them out and couldn't. So I don't know.
Well, I thought you were going to say Ed Cowan's run out, and we'll get Joel to find it, in a tour game at Worcester. That was as funny as I've ever seen.
What happened?
But did he get run out?
He got run out, but he was trying to get there, and his legs just go.
Actually, I do remember that. That was funny.
Gave way. But looking at that run out, if you want to see run outs, just go watch under 10s cricket every weekend. You see some of the best run outs ever.
But like,
it's even better when the parents are calling yes and no and the kids stop to look at them and they get run out at the bowler's end.
the one that did me on that is the last guy who ran the ball to the stumps and then decided to throw it. Like,
And missed it. Yeah.
Missed everything.
bruh.
Needed Benny Hill music to it.
Pretty much. Major League Cricket, Matt Short and Jake Fraser-McGurk doing okay over there. Mitch Owen went bananas for Washington Freedom. They looks a pretty good place to kind of carry a bat with no consequence. Can I say that? It's a place where runs are easy to come by, the Major League Cricket at the moment.
Yeah.
I've been watching Mitch Owen. I've been enjoying, and I got a bit of a invested interest in him, but his bowling's been well. His game's developing. Have a look for a big summer, but he's a lot of the stuff he learnt in the IPL, he's starting to put forward there.
Hang on. Did you just hear that? That was,
Mate, he's got
that was a little Haddin pump up.
No.
What he learned in the IPA.
Self-pop.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of time looking to play spin. I seen him have a go at Noor Ahmed the other day. He's still got Ricky over there coaching him, but he's on a heater at the moment over there, and he's learning fast.
Learning, but second-year syndrome, Hads. We'll wait and see how he goes this summer.
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he will too, but we've got to bring
On
Hads
that deck
down
in
a little bit.
Hobart. Yeah. Now, what about this? Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, they do that cutaway of the crowd, and you see some weird things in the crowd at international cricket. I haven't seen this before, unless I'm mistaken here. A gentleman who is a snake charmer, and I don't know how you get to that in life and go, you know what, when I grow up, I want to be a snake charmer. 3 king cobras make an appearance.
It's pretty common over there.
How the bloody hell do you get them into the ground?
What about fielding a deep backward square? No, thanks,
What?
mate.
How do you get them into the ground? But we
Mate,
can't get a
Sri Lanka-
bottle of water into the ground in Australia, and they're bringing in freaking king cobras.
Well, maybe he was part of the entertainment for
Yeah.
the day. Like, I think that he can't smuggle 3 cobras in. I wouldn't have thought.
How would you go fielding with your back
No.
to it?
They're not going to get you from there.
Oh,
He's there. He's in charge of them.
then your 12th
still
man
alive.
just comes behind you and taps you on the leg or the ear. Mate, you're not concentrating.
Having a look at the landscaping they've put in at Cricket Central in Sydney's West.
Oh, that'd
If
be
I'm
cool.
on the boundary, I've got eyes in the back of my head through summer. That's brown snake central.
Well, they've actually started to clear out that mess behind to put the second, because there's a second oval going in there. So they
Yeah.
started clearing that out. So I can imagine how many snakes they've pulled out of that in hibernation, mind you.
Oof.
I used my senior status once in grade cricket.
Yeah.
I came back and I wasn't keeping, so I was out in the deep square boundary at Blacktown.
Why were you out at Deep Square in the
Mate.
first place?
I was just enjoying life.
Oh, okay.
I was having a good time. And I could hear something under the covers. And I was sort of looking, couldn't see much. I lifted the covers up. There's a brown there.
Oh.
So halfway through the over, I've just walked. And everyone's looking. I said, "Slip, you're going a backward square." And I just stood at slip. They said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Mate, there's a snake out there." And the umpire goes, "Oh, it always happens. It won't get anyone." I said, "Well, it definitely won't get me." So at the end of that over, I went to deep point at the other side and did not move. Nah. Doug Bollinger chased one off the ground. They chased it like that the whole way. We're all going,
Sounds like something Doug would do.
yeah. But you got it off.
Oh, man. Hey, just on keeping, and I neglected to ask this, and I meant to ask this when we were having our chat about Australia, West Indies. Alex Carey keeps
Yeah.
for Australia.
100%.
Yep.
Yep.
So can you explain quickly why he would keep, Alex Carey keeps in a test match, but when Josh and Alex are in the same side in the white ball stuff, Josh is keeping?
Well, I think what happened selection-wise is that initially Josh replaced Alex, so he had the gloves. So then when Alex came back into the side, Josh had the gloves, so they didn't mess around with that. Alex just came in and did the job fielding. Sorry, but in the test matches, the gloves are his.
Okay. But you wouldn't go on who's the better gloveman? Full stop. I'm not saying Alex is, I'm not saying Josh is, but do you just purely go on the better gloveman, or do you go on who might be better in the field from our discussion earlier?
Alex Carey's the test wicket keeper. Englist has come in off the back of...
So it's incumbency.
Yeah.
With the
and,
gloves.
And he's come in as number 4 too.
Yeah, come in number 4. Do you reckon you bat at 4?
Yeah.
Has that been confirmed?
Yes.
He's got an average in first-class cricket. He's never batted at 4 before. He's batted in all the other spots. But in first-class cricket, he averages 55 at 6. Won't Travis Head 4?
You're really intent on getting Travis Head up the order, aren't you?
I thought I read that they're sticking with Cam Green 3, English 4.
It's all
Head
done.
5.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I read that, but maybe that was lies.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's
Anyway.
been an episode of diversion, and I've diverted it
Yeah,
again
you
there.
have.
Anyway,
Sundries.
back to
I've
the
got another
rundown.
snake story. This is a kid's sport out at Wentworthville. Walking around the ground by myself, got my coffee in my hand.
Yep.
So I'm not on the ground. Had to get on the ground for a little bit. So jumped onto the ground, walked. As I jumped back over, I just missed a snake.
Oh,
And I reckon I backflipped back over the fence and took. Everyone's sort of looking at me going, "What's Brad on the field for?" And the coaches go, "What are you doing?" I say, "Mate, there is a snake down there. I just missed it."
Richard Part celebration from B on the boundary.
Oh, I watched the rest of the game in the car.
There's no snakes in the Haddin compound, clearly.
Right, some of our facts that are sent through, random test facts, and it's part of our book giveaway, the book being Test Cricket, A History by Tim Wigmore, and we put it out there, your best facts about cricket. The best 2 will win a book. So I'll read through a couple, shall I? We can rate them. CMS said, one of the best and most humorous facts in a match between Australia and England in the early 80s, Dennis Lilly caught Willie bowled Dilly. Only one night watchman like Jason Gillespie has scored a double 100. Jason Gillespie's never told that story.
I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah, incredible. Only one married couple have both been simultaneously playing Test cricket for a country at the same time.
Legends. It's not
you're on the self-pumper.
It's not easy when you're having a bat and you're watching Mitch bowl on the TV and they're like, is she concentrating? I'm like, nah.
That's why they both got 99 as the top score.
Oh, dang it.
Okay, this is a good one. There's a few sent this one in. Alex Stewart, 8,463 test runs, date of birth, 8th of the 4th, 63.
I like that one. Whoever sent that one in,
nerd. Good bloke too.
Yeah. Wilfred Rhodes batted every position from 1 to 11 in Test cricket, holds the record for the longest career, 30 years and 315 days. No wonder he batted 1 to 11. He was 52 when he retired officially from
as
Test
number
cricket.
11.
As a number 11. Have you? What batting position did you not?
I was just thinking, I reckon I'd challenge that in our side. I reckon I haven't batted 11, but I've batted most other.
Yeah, I started my grade career as a number 11.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon I've batted in all the positions.
Picked purely as a keeper, huh? Were we?
100%.
Did not rate your...
Mate, I was 14 playing first grade. I was
Oh,
the same
there it
size
is.
as the stumps.
There it is.
And he got me out 3 times that season. Got up to 8.
Okay, this one is a good one as well. And you'll like this one, Hads, because it's poking fun at a Kiwi.
I would not like that.
One of New Zealand's best, Bert Sutcliffe, never won a test match. How could he be considered one of New Zealand's best if he never won a test
Mate,
match?
they're happy to get a cap.
He played 42 tests between 1949 and 1965, but never won a match. New Zealand won games during that time, but never when he was in the side. Poor Bert.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually mentioned this stat on air earlier this year, but we were talking about New Zealand at some point and this came up and I was going to raise it. And I was like, I wonder if this person heard me say it, if I actually did say it on air or not. But that is one of the most remarkable stats that I've ever seen for a guy that's so celebrated in New Zealand cricket. It's wild.
How can he be so celebrated?
The Bert Sutcliffe Oval.
Wouldn't happen here, would it, Ads? Over on this side of the ditch.
Mate, he got his cap.
Okay, only 3 test hat-tricks
and an oval.
have happened in women's test cricket. 2 of them were Australians, Betty Wilson in 1958, Shiza Khan of Pakistan in 2004, and Renee Farrell in 2011.
Still my favourite hat-trick. Bad luck, England.
Run us through it.
She still claims she hit it.
That's even better.
I see Danny Hazel a lot. She's like, I still hit that ball. And I was like, no, you didn't. You're out. See you later.
You just ran us through it. Thank you. And, oh my goodness, I didn't bring my glasses. Middle age has got
read
me
it.
here. Go for it.
Yeah, you're the
Go
only
for
one
it.
that
It's
can
from
see
Noel on
It says
Instagram.
Noel CRA because I can't read the rest. My idea for the Test cricket fact for the book competition was affected by considering that there are 2 wicketkeepers on the show there. My official submission is, in 1990, Wayne James of Zimbabwe stumped 4 batsmen in a single innings while playing for
Someone.
Matabeleland against
Metabili-land.
Mashonaland country districts during the 95-96 Logan Cup final in Zimbabwe. In that match, he also got 9 catches, 13 dismissals in the match. Holy crap. Top of that, he scored 99 runs twice in both innings.
Oh, you can relate to this.
Oh, we're friends. Where he was out caught in the first innings on 99, then in the second innings,
His team.
was on... James was on strike on 99. He missed the ball, the other keeper missed, and the ball went to the boundary for 4 byes. They won the final and he was stranded on 99, not out.
Oh, no.
And he did not even get player of the match. Oh, yes, he did. Oh,
Yeah.
damn you, Noel.
I'm not sure if that counts, though, because it's not a test fact. It's a great fact. It's a fantastic cricket fact. But at the moment, and we've still got a few submissions to go through, but I think Bert,
Yeah. It wasn't a test game. It was a
Bert
game.
and Alex Stewart lead.
Well, I've got one on this. It's Metabili-land. Graham Rummins, we went on a tour over there and you played some first-class cricket, and his highest score for 10 years of his career kept coming up at the SCG, Metabili-land, and we just go, mate, that does not count. That's the day he passed it was the biggest cheering statement I've ever had. He said it finally got off the board.
Brilliant. Now, that was an interesting episode because we went places we didn't think we were going to go, but we
That's the
got there
best
in the
thing
end.
about it.
Exactly.
That's what we're here for. Talk dribble.
Yep, and we do it well.
Yep.
Thank you. See you next week. We'll be back to discuss the Test match in the West Indies.
I'm interested in hearing about the running session.
Go Australia. Oh, mine.
Yeah.
I'll feed it through the group chat. We can run through it on Monday.
All the best, Heels.
Thanks.
Good
Thanks,
luck.
champ.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.